Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jasmine McDonald and I post ballet and fitness related videos every single Tuesday, Thursday, and now Sunday. And if you're also new here, you may as well hit subscribe. Now, most of you guys always want to see middle splits routines and more flexibility for your middle splits, follow along videos. So I figured today I would do that. For equipment, you will need 2 yoga blocks as well as one of these flex bands. And this specific flex band is actually from Flex Space Studios where I work, and it has all these different sections that you can use. And I find it's the most helpful when it comes to middle splits. So we have a couple of things we need to work on in middle splits. This is going to be a very condensed video. I am planning on doing an entire 14-day challenge in the next couple of months for you guys. But ultimately we want to strengthen our glutes and we want to stretch our inner thighs, our hamstrings for middle splits. So let's go ahead and get started, and feel free to do this after a ballet class, or you can do one of my warm-ups. I'll put in the cards up here or in the description box down below. So start in a double stag and go from one side to the next. And let's do this for 10. And we're gonna do it with no hands as well. And we do this for 9, nice and smooth. I know you move forward a little bit, so I'm gonna move back. And we do 8. And we do 7. To make it more difficult, keep your shoulders on top of your hips. So you use your whole range of motion in your hip. 6, 5. It's gonna move back a bit. 4, if you move forward, that's totally normal. And 3. And 2. Try to make these transitions as smooth as possible. Last one. Good. Coming back to the first side. Again, ultimately, you want to do this, and ideally without your hands on the floor. Option to use your hands on your knee, or take your hand on your floor. Just ensure that your back is staying nice and straight. We're going to open up that back knee, keeping our hips and our shoulders nice and square for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Stay with me. 1. We're going to lift the entire shin now. Option to take your body forward, to take a bit more space in your hip, and to ensure you're not arching your back. No arch in the back. Let's go for 10. And we have 9. And we have 8. So here we're actually working on lifting our leg and opening up that hip. 7. Ooh, it's cramping a bit. 6. And 5. We have 4. 3. 2. 1. Beautiful. Let's go to the other side. Same thing. And we lift the back knee for 10. And 9, 8, 7, make sure your shoulders are facing the front. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, 1, and we lift the entire shin. Once again, you can take your body forward. We lift for 10, holding it, locking it. And 9. And we have 8. And 7. My body's not moving, it's just the leg and the hip. 6. And we have 5. 4. Keeping your back nice and lengthened. 3. And 2. And 1. Beautiful. Go back to the first side. Now that it's been given a little bit of a breather, make sure you have space behind you and take your hands slightly in front of you. Let's take one of the yoga blocks underneath our back knee, and we're gonna lift that back knee off the floor. Now I want you to slide that back leg towards an arabesque derriere, keeping the rotation, so you're stretching your hip flexor, you're keeping your back nice and lengthened, and then you're gonna bring it back in, keeping the knee off the block. And again, let's stretch it back. Good. And bring it back in. And again, stretch it back. You can take your hands off the floor as well for an extra challenge. Bring it back in, but don't let the hips move. And again, slide it out. Oops. And slide it in. Good, I lost count. That's 4, I think, 5. We're gonna do 10 and slide it in. And 6. Try to make sure it's behind you. And in. 7. And in. And we have 8. And in. And we have 9. Keep that knee nice and lifted. And in. I regret wearing socks today. 10. And bring it in, and we're just gonna tap the knee down and up. 2. And we do 3, and notice I'm taking a slight hinge forward. And 5, to ensure I'm not arching my back. 6, we can really target those glutes. 7. And 8. We have 9. And 10. Good, we do the same thing to the other side, so go ahead, switch sides, make sure you have space behind you, and take your knee lifted on top of the block, and we're gonna lift it, and same thing, we're gonna slide our leg to the back 10 times. We do 10, squeezing the glute, rotating the leg, and we have 9, bringing it in, and we have 8, reaching the leg, reaching the body, bring it in, and we have 7. Did I just skip a number? I think I did. Let's go for 7. I'm terrible at counting today. And bring it in. And we have 6. Bring it in. And 5. Bring it in. And we have 4. Bring it in. We have 3. Almost there. Bring it in. We have 2. Bring it in. Last one, 1. And in, we're gonna tap that knee down and up for 10, 9, 8, 7, I'm not moving my back, 6, belly bend to spine, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And relax by taking your feet on your yoga block in a butterfly. Now my socks are nice and wonky and my mat is destroyed. Go ahead and stretch it out. Placing your feet on the block, using your elbows to gently press the knees down. Beautiful, grab some water if you need some water. Next, we're going to be doing a tiny bit more glutes into a frog, into our last sequence before we stretch. So this next one, we're going to start with our right knee on the block and our left hand on the other block. Now, we're using this so that when we go down to our elbow on our right hand, we can open up our shoulders and tilt our hips a bit better. But we're gonna start with just the left elbow bent and the right arm straight, belly button to spine in this tabletop position. We start with regular fire hydrants 10 times. You can also just take both hands down on the floor if that's easier. I just find this comfier. And we do 10 just to ensure you're not twisting your spine. So if you find you're doing that, put both hands down. Let's do 10. And we have 9, 8, and we have 7, belly bend to spine, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, keep it up. Now you're gonna place that right elbow down, left hand on the block. You're gonna open up the hips and open up the shoulders towards the front. Good, from here you're going to extend the top leg and bend, keeping the knee lifted, keeping it open, and extend and bend. And again for 3, I know this is difficult, and bend. And again for 4, but this is your side tilt. And we do 5, holding it. And we're gonna tap that toe down. And you're gonna start by lifting the foot first, keeping the shoulders square. And then once you can't anymore, you're gonna push it open like you're pushing open a door. Good, bring it back down to the front. Whew. Again, lifting the leg, propping the shoulders open, stacking the shoulders on top of one another, hips on top of one another, and down. Whew. Only one more. Lifting that leg up, pressing, opening, tapping the foot down, Go ahead, place your elbows down, and you can slide out. I'm just gonna make a bit more space so I don't go completely off camera. Into a half frog, half middle, and you can just rock forward and back for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Coming back up. Go ahead, tuck your toes under, lift your hips up to a downward facing dog. Stretch it out for a second. Beautiful, and we switch sides. Go ahead and place the block underneath your left knee, and then the other block underneath your opposite hand, which should be your right hand. But starting first with our nice and square tabletop and our fire hydrants. Let's go for 10. This is also a great glute workout. And 9. Try not to scrunch the right side. 8. And 7. Don't let the head drop as well. I'm doing all these corrections to myself. 6. But it's ultimately helping you guys too. And me. 5. And 4. Oh my goodness, I know it's always more difficult on the second side. 3, but you got it. And we have 2. And the last one, we're gonna place that left elbow down on the floor, right hand on the block, stack the hips, and we extend for 5. Keeping the knee up, lifted, and up. 4, yes, I just said up 2 times. I'm an open, up, and lifted, which I guess is the same thing. 3. My brain's going towards my muscles, 2 that are burning. And last one, 1, and same thing, you're gonna tap that toe down to the floor, and then you're gonna lift the foot up to the side. And again, tapping it down for 2, squaring off the shoulders and the hips, lifting the leg first, opening to the side, last one, and lifting, good. And then you can go ahead, make some space if you need to, and slide, same thing, to a half middle, half split. And you can rock forward and back for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Walking back up. Go ahead, tuck your toes under, lift your hips up, and this time take a forward fold. I'm gonna face you guys. Go ahead, take a forward fold with your feet nice and wide. Keep the blocks in front of you, in front of your feet. And just shake your head yes. Shake your head no. Good. From here, pivot your toes open into a grand plie in second, just stretching it out for a second. You can take one shoulder forward and the other shoulder forward. Good, and staying here without your hands, rotate the legs, belly button to spine, shoulders stacked on top of hips like a grand plie. Go ahead and walk down further, lower the hips, and then make sure that the blocks are right in front of your knees. Keep the knees lifted as you begin to lower down. So try to get them both at the same time, and then go down to a frog. Good, and you can shake side to side, rock forward and back. And same thing, we're gonna come up, try to lift the knees, kind of like a plank, push back up, and stand up. And then put the hands on the floor, keep the belly button close to the thighs, take a forward fold. Good, we do that 2 more times, pivot the toes open, lift the shoulders on top of the hips. Maybe go side to side this time, stretch it out. Good, go ahead, walk your hands down, lower the hips, keep the knees lifted, and find your frog. Go ahead, start to lift the knees, activate the glutes, walk back, and take your forward fold, belly button close to your thighs. Good, we do that one more time. Point the toes open, shoulders stacked on top of hips, walking down, knees placed on the blocks. And then walk back up, last one. You can stretch it out here. Beautiful, go ahead, take your last forward fold, and then just take a triangle on one side. You can roll your hip down, and then you can stand up to stretch that back hip. And then switch sides. Same thing. Standing up, tucking under the pelvis to stretch out the hip. And then, last but not least, we're going to grab this loop band. We're actually going to take it behind us and on our 2 feet. I love using this band because it provides a good resistance, but it's also quite stretchy, so it's not impossible to use, especially if you're not flat in your middle splits yet, but it does add a good resistance for resistance training. I had hairs in my mouth, oh my goodness. How do I have so many hairs in my mouth? Sorry. So, taking your legs in front of you, I'm gonna get rid of my mat so I can actually slide my legs. We're gonna slide our legs to a straddle. From here, take your arms in second. You can point your toes. We're gonna flex our right foot, bend our right knee, slide it in, and point the leg. Extend so you can get a little bit closer in your middle. And again, we flex, bend with the right, keeping both sit bones down, and point, and extend. Last one, flex, bend. You can do this without the band as well if you don't have a band. Point, and then let's reach towards that foot. Try to keep both sit bones down rather than like this. Root that sit bone down to the floor. And then we do the same thing second side. Bend the left, flex the left, and point. Extend, again bend the left, flex the left, point. Extend, last one, bend the left, flex the left, point, and extend and reach up nice and tall and over. And come back up. Now option 2, stay here. If that's a good stretch for you, you can flex or point the feet or relax them, or go forward, keeping your knees facing the ceiling, belly button to the floor. And then if you feel comfortable, you can start to roll forward in the middle. Beautiful. Now you can stay there as long as you want if you're feeling super comfy. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, happy dancing, and until next time, bye now.